Hey people.
But who is that?
This is the end of the mystery.
Gav here. I must apologize for staying in my goon cave for the whole month of March, but I had to attend to some important business. You see, I thought that it would be funny if I made a video about a hentai game that is longer than every game on the front page of How Long to Beat except Baldur's Gate 3. Today, I'll be covering Dungeon Town, a dungeon crawling roguelite, as in you're most likely to lose all your levels by the end of the day, but more on that later. The game is developed by Circle Mamite and published internationally by Kagura Games. It is important to tell you that I'm playing the base game version, because the one with all the bonus content is only available on the DL side. And since Germany has banned anything related to fun, I need to hide my identity and connect via Tor to even go on the L side. Furthermore, I can't read these hieroglyphs, and thus I'm forced to wait until Kagura Games has translated it. So come on, the complete bundle was released in 2023. Get to work. Story. You and your contractor Atisha went to Famos village because a gate to the demon realm has opened up deep in a ruin. So many adventurers want to make money of it, just like the both of you, because money is the most important thing in life. Besides other small unimportant things that you need to resolve along the way, like Tetra being kidnapped, you need to close the gate by completing these following dungeons: the Ruins Forest, the Fairy Tale Garden, the Executioner Grounds, the Polluted Waterway, and the Land of the Abyss. However, every dungeon has its own problem, like you need to get more than close to Colette, and I'm forced to waste my time wandering around to find enemies and trigger the intimate mode, so that I can lay pipe to progress. It's a hentai game. What did you expect? Additionally, you get thrown every so often into the Dream of the Abyss, where you can find Virginia, a succubus that just kinda chills there. After reaching the heart of the ruins, shit hits the fan and the second part of the game begins. But I won't tell you what happens, because it's actually a pretty fun game and you should play it. Instead, I'm substituting it with introducing the girls as poorly as possible. A Nerfi is an elfeed, a half-elf or something. I don't know, I didn't pay attention because of that huge head, and she is cooking. Furthermore, she won't give us discounts, but she will force everyone to give you a 50% cut. So Nerfi is pretty good. Colette. She is constantly harassed by her village folk, and I would do the same. You see, I hate forcing the intimate mode. For example, this is the fight against a random boar, where I tried to trigger it, but unfortunately after wasting several minutes I gave up. However, she has a good character and is more involved in the later story. Hilelio. We don't actually care about her. The game hates her too, since she's your partner for one dungeon and then never again. And when she's your partner, you can only explore 3 floors until she's tired and wants to go home. Koshina is the only character that I deeply respect, since she was caught in a snuggle struggle and said, I had worse, and then immediately helped you rescue Tetra. Also, she will not hesitate to remove your balls if she feels like it. Tetra, you only need her for the executioner's grounds, and when you're stuck searching for the exclamation point, she will spam you with support taunts. Besides, I don't want my reputation to fall when I'm saying, yeah, I'm using the lolly as my partner. I'm using this small girl instead. Flotina is the saint of the church and lore-wise really powerful, and she's actually quite fun. Her only drawback is her height complex, but I'm sure that there are some people who see her height as a bonus. Sildoria. She's like the coke-light version of Tsundere. She's also plot relevant, but acts parallel to you until later in the story. Before we get to Shiolia, we need to talk. Since we are all humble enjoyer of ASMR, I can fully recommend listening to her voice.
お役に立てるように頑張ります。楽勝ですよね。素振りでしょうか。いや、お疲れ様でした。素敵でしたよ。あ、起こしてしまいましたか。おはようございます。
She's great. Veldate is the person that you see the most, because you can turn in quests in the tavern to get rewarded with gold and fame. Her theme is also fire, and she's pretty good at combat too. The last one is Altisha. She's your #1 girl. This schizo is so strong that she will carry you every time you pick her as your partner. No, really, her attacks do the most damage, even more than your own. By the way, Altisha is the most YouTube friendly, because YouTube doesn't complain about the gameplay mechanic where clothes get ripped. If it's Altisha, gameplay. If you haven't already figured it out that this is a dungeon crawler, then what were you even doing?
成長しましたか。
For your stats, you got HP and EP that act as your life points. Weight, which indicates how many things you can carry with you. Attack and defense are self-explanatory. Agility increases your chance to strike twice and your action points, while hit increases your hit rate. Crit is crit, and dodge influences the chance that you evade the enemy attacks, aka never. Action points are used up while you're in the dungeon, and if you run out, you cannot go deeper. Even worse, you have to find your way out without the minimap, since it vanishes when you run out of AP. LP are your auto revives. Whenever you take a fatal hit, you can continue as if nothing has happened. LP are bestowed upon you by Flotina via a ritual. Levels are an important resource because it can be used as currency. The succubus that plagues Famous Village will come to you every night, and she will train your levels. Fortunately, she will give you Maka, the currency for succubus, and you can trade that in for items and skills. I want to show you more of this transaction and shopping system, but sadly, the HUD is transparent and the succubus hates clothes. So without being able to rely on levels, you should rely on your equipment instead. Dungeon Town allows you to take as many weapons as you can carry, but you need to make sure that you have enough space for the loot that the enemies are dropping. There are 4 types of weapons. Swords that are actually bad, except for a few weapon-tied skills. Spears that almost hit every time you use them. Axes that have the highest crit chance but have a low hit rate. And bows, which are the strongest of them all. But I recommend having at least one of each type in your inventory. Better skills and equipment are locked behind your fame, because if you think about it, you wouldn't give out your Rolex to some random nobody, so you gotta complete quests and events to increase your fame. The other big gameplay mechanic is the so-called sex battle. A boss is waiting for you on every final floor of each dungeon, and instead of fighting them normally, you got to charm them and, well, have sex to win them over. Yeah, I know, I can't really show you much of these fights despite playing it for 20 hours, because my monkey brain immediately used the stripper skill before I could get good footage. So play it yourself. To put it in a nutshell, Dungeon Town is a solid game, and since you can mark games as private on your Steam account, you don't need to feel ashamed when you do play it. If you still feel uncomfortable, the game is also on GOG, the Kagura Games page, also the place where you can find the patch, and the L side, but good luck if you're German. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of the Bandit gang who helped breaking in and stealing this idea from the basement of this Seth guy. You are all truly wonderful, and have a good one.